If you want to create time signature or tempo changes in PolyNome, you will need to use a playlist. In this video, you'll learn how to do that. Begin by swiping to the presets page, tapping the button at the top and choosing playlist, and then tap the plus button and create a new playlist, and we'll call it time signature change. This creates a blank playlist and you can add items to it. So we'll begin by clicking the plus button and creating a new entry in the playlist, which we'll call 4/4 section. And then I'm going to duplicate this section by tapping the plus button again and choosing duplicate entry with new name, and we'll call it 6/4 section. So now we'll modify these two items. So we'll select 4/4 section and go back to the main page. And I'm going to push up the 1 fader in the overlay sounds. And I'm going to change the sound to auto voice count. And this will count the 4/4 bar for us. So it sounds like this.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So that's our first section. And then we will go back to the playlist and select the 6/4 section, and then we will edit this by tapping on metronome 1, choosing edit pattern, and we'll tap the time signature and change it to 6/4, and then we need to add 2 more quarter notes to fill the bar. And once again in the mixer, I will tap on change sounds and set the 1 sound to be auto voice count and push up the 1 fader in the mixer. So this is our 6/4 version.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So next we need these items to play one into the other. At the moment you'll see that the first one is set to loop and the second one is set to loop. So we want to change this and set the first one to repeat 1 time. And we'll do the same for the second one. Tap on the gear icon on the right, choose repeats. 1 is set by default, so we'll hit done to get back to the main page. And finally, we need to set this playlist to auto advance and play when advancing. And you can do that in the playlist controls at the bottom. So I'll tap on the auto advance row, turn on auto advance, and turn on play when advancing. So now this playlist will play through these items.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
If you want these sections to play for different numbers of bars, you can change the reps in here. So we'll do 2 bars of 4/4 and then 1 bar of 6/4. If you wanted to duplicate this, for example, you want 4/4, 6/4, and you want 3 lots of that, there's a shortcut which is to tap the pencil icon at the top and select the items you want to duplicate, and then in the actions menu you can duplicate selection, and let's make 2 copies. So let's say you wanted to add a drum groove to these sections. Let's go and edit the 4/4 section. We'll change the pattern and I'll enter a bar of 1/8 notes. And then I'll tap below the notes to enter sounds. I'll put a hi-hat on the top line and a kick snare pattern in the bottom line. When I go to play this changed pattern, I'm told that this has unsaved changes. This is because it's in a playlist that will auto advance, and PolyNome needs to know whether to save the changes before it moves to the next item. And when I choose save changes, it asks me if I want to update the other items in the playlist that have the same name. So I'm going to update those so all of the 4/4 sections will have a drum groove in.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Let's now do the same for the 6/4 section. So I'll select one of those, go back to the main page, edit the pattern. I'm going to fill the bar with 1/8 notes. And one tip here is if you want to group your eighth notes in groups of threes, you can use the dotted quarter note and tap the threes down here. So let's put a ride on the top and a kick snare pattern on the bottom. So again, when I go to play this, it will prompt me to save changes, and I will choose to update the other presets in the playlist. And now our playlist sounds like this.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Exactly the same things apply if you want to add tempo changes. So we could select this 6/4 section, for example, and choose to play this at 180 BPM. And then you'll notice that the tempo changes when it goes from this section into the next section.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Now you may notice that if you wanted to change the tempo of the whole song, then that would be problematic, because if we change this, for example, to 200, the rest of them aren't changing. One of the things we can do is to lock the tempo, and this will play the whole playlist at 200 BPM or whatever tempo we set in here. But if you have sections that are at different tempos and you want to change the whole tempo but in a relative manner, you can do that by tapping and holding the play button and turning on tempo percentage. And this will give you a slider, and as you move this slider, you will change the relative tempo of the whole playlist. So if we play this back at 80%,
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
so that's how to create tempo and time signature changes in PolyNome.